Hello everyone. Welcome to this fascinating and eye-opening video where we will uncover the dark side of human behavior. Today, we are going to talk about something that touches every part of your life, human nature. This is not just another video you will forget. This is like a key. A key that opens a door that most people are afraid to open. This is the door to understanding how humans really behave. Not how they say they behave. Not how they look in their online photos, but how they truly think, feel, and act. This is not a happy fairy tale. This is the truth. And the truth can sometimes feel uncomfortable, but it is also very powerful. Once you understand these ideas, you can never see the world in the same way again. This knowledge is used by successful people all around the world. Leaders, doctors, artists, and teachers. Why? Because it explains the one thing that controls everything in our lives, human nature. Do you ever ask yourself these questions? Why do people hurt you even after you help them? Why do you choose the wrong kind of friends or partners again and again? Why do you stop yourself from succeeding when everything is going well? This video will help you find answers to these questions with surprising clarity. And here is a small warning. Once you learn these rules, you will start to see through people's actions. You will stop letting others control your feelings so easily. You will stop begging for love and attention. You will stop wasting your time and energy on people who are not good for you. You will finally understand why the world is the way it is and how you can protect yourself and find your own success in it. If you want to become emotionally stronger, mentally clearer, and wiser, then please read every word carefully. Because today, you are not just learning new words. You are waking up to reality. Rule 1. The rule of feelings. People are not as logical as they think. They are emotional. We all want to believe that we are rational and logical. We want to think that we make smart decisions about our jobs, our money, and our relationships. We believe we choose our partners carefully and buy only what we need. We tell ourselves we are calm and mature. But the truth is, we are often driven by our emotions. Feelings like fear, jealousy, anger, desire, and insecurity are powerful. Think about your own life. Have you ever bought something expensive, not because you needed it, but because you wanted to feel happy or show others that you were successful? Have you ever sent a very angry text message and then felt sorry a few hours later? Have you stayed in a friendship that made you feel bad, not because it was healthy, but because you were afraid of being alone? That is the power of emotions over logic. And here is the most dangerous part. You often don't realize you are acting on emotion. You find reasons to justify your actions. You convince yourself that you did the right thing. People do not see the world as it is. They see it as they feel it. For example, if a person feels insecure inside, they might see your confidence as arrogance. If a person is full of anger, they will find a reason to be upset with you, even if you did nothing wrong. So what is the solution? First, you must learn to see your own feelings clearly. You must train yourself to pause before you react. Take a deep breath and ask yourself, am I reacting to what is really happening here? Or am I reacting to my own fear, my anger, or my ego? Let's say your friend does not reply to your message for 2 days. Your first feeling might be that they are ignoring you, that you are not important. But what if they were just very busy with work? What if they were sick or struggling with a problem you don't know about? Instead of assuming the worst, just breathe. Wait. Think before you feel bad. The most powerful people are not those who can control others. They are the ones who have learned to control themselves, especially their own emotions. Remember this. If you can't control your feelings, someone else will control them for you. Rule 2. The rule of me. Everyone is a little self-absorbed. The key is to learn empathy. Many people hear the word narcissism and think it means someone who loves themselves too much and always needs attention. That is the extreme version. But the truth is, almost everyone is a little narcissistic. Why? Because from the time we are children, we are taught to focus on our own needs, our own pain, and our own dreams. Even when we listen to someone else, a part of our brain is often thinking, when will it be my turn to speak? How does this story affect me? Why aren't they paying more attention to me? This is everyday narcissism. And here is the dangerous part. When two people who are focused on themselves talk, no one is truly listening. Both people are just waiting for their turn. Everyone is competing. Everyone is focused on me. This is why so many relationships fail. This is why arguments start. This is why leaders lose their teams and why lovers drift apart. So, how do you become better than this? By developing real empathy. Empathy is not just fake kindness. It is not just pretending to care. It is training your mind to try to step into another person's world. Ask yourself, what are they really feeling right now? Why are they acting this way? What is happening in their life that I know nothing about? For example, imagine someone shouts at you in a store. Your first instinct is to shout back and defend yourself. But empathy allows you to pause and think, maybe they are not really angry at me. Maybe they are angry at their own life. Maybe they have been carrying this pain for a long time. This does not mean you let people walk all over you. It means you see the situation more deeply. You stay calm while they lose control. You try to understand instead of just judging. In a world full of people screaming, "Look at me," be the one who quietly sees others. When you make people feel truly seen and understood, you gain a power that money or fame can never buy. Rule 3. The rule of masks. Everyone is pretending. Learn to see behind the mask. We live in a world of masks. From childhood, we are taught to hide our true feelings. We are told, smile even if you are sad. Pretend to like your boss. Act confident, even if you feel like you are falling apart. As a result, most people go through life performing, not truly living. In public, a person might seem kind, gentle, and quiet. But behind closed doors, they might be angry, insecure, or mean. In a relationship, someone might act like the perfect partner, but deep inside, they might be full of fear, jealousy, or hidden sadness. This rule tells us that what you see is rarely the whole truth. People become experts at hiding who they really are. They smile when they actually dislike you. They give you a compliment while secretly feeling jealous of you. They agree with you, but only to use you for something later. So, how do you protect yourself? By learning to observe patterns, not just performances. Watch how people treat those who cannot help them, like a waiter or a cleaner. Watch how they behave when they are tired or under pressure. Check if their words often match their actions over time. For example, let's say your coworker always praises you in front of your boss, but whenever you achieve something personal, they suddenly become cold and silent. No congratulations, no smile. That is a sign. Or you meet someone who always says, "I am a very honest person," but you notice they always blame others for their mistakes and avoid responsibility. That is not honesty. That is acting. You must become a student of behavior, not just a listener of words. The goal is not to be suspicious of everyone. The goal is to see people clearly before you give them your trust, your love, or your time. Most of the pain in life comes not because people hurt us, but because we believe their mask was their real face. Rule 4. The rule of repeating mistakes. People repeat the same mistakes again and again. If you look closely at the lives of most people, you will see something strange. They keep making the same mistakes over and over. They keep dating the same kind of toxic person. They keep quitting jobs when things get difficult. They keep reacting with anger to every small problem. It's like a circle they cannot escape. This rule explains that people are often driven by deep patterns they are not even aware of. These patterns can come from childhood experiences, pain, or old habits. But instead of facing these patterns, people run from them. And by running, they let these same patterns destroy their health, their relationships, and their future. For example, a man grew up feeling ignored by his parents. As an adult, he constantly tries to prove his worth to everyone. He works too much, spends too much money, and gets angry too easily, all to get attention. But no matter how much he achieves, he still feels empty inside. That is a compulsion. Or imagine a woman who was betrayed by a close friend years ago. Now, every time she starts to trust someone new, she pulls away. She ends the friendship before it can hurt her. Not because the new person is bad, but because she is repeating an old pattern of fear. So how do you break this cycle? You must observe your own behavior without judging yourself. Ask yourself, what patterns keep showing up in my life? What do I keep doing even when I know it hurts me? What am I really running from? You must stop blaming the world and start understanding your own past. The goal is not to be perfect. The goal is to be aware. Because once you see the pattern, you can choose to change it. And when you break a toxic pattern, you don't just heal your present. You heal your future. Rule 5. The rule of wanting what you can't have. People don't want what they need. They want what they can't have. Why do people often ignore what is good for them and chase something that is out of reach, unavailable, or even bad for them? Because desire is not about logic. It is about mystery, distance, and fantasy. The truth is, people don't crave what they understand. They crave what they imagine. Have you ever noticed that someone starts to like you more when you become a little distant? Or that a product suddenly feels more valuable when it is sold out? Or that people chase someone who treats them coldly while ignoring the person who is always kind and caring? That is not love. That is not intelligence. That is the human mind being tricked by what it cannot fully possess. You can see this rule everywhere. In marketing, limited edition products sell faster. In dating, the person who acts mysterious often gets more attention. In careers, the job that seems just out of reach becomes an obsession. But here is the dark side. Once people finally get what they chased so hard, they often lose interest. Why? Because it was never about the thing itself. It was about the chase. It was about the fantasy. So, how can you use this knowledge wisely? First, don't be too available all the time. If you constantly give all your time and energy to others, they might stop valuing it. Second, create a little space and mystery. Let people wonder. Let them desire your time and attention. Not to manipulate them, but to protect your own energy and create a healthy balance. And most importantly, don't fall into this trap yourself. Ask, am I chasing this because it is truly right for me, or just because I can't have it yet? True maturity is choosing what is healthy for you over what is simply exciting. Rule 6. The rule of now. People focus only on the present. That's why they ruin their future. Look around you. People want everything fast. Success, love, money, results. They make decisions for today without thinking about how those decisions might destroy their tomorrow. This rule says that most people sacrifice long-term happiness for short-term pleasure. They want comfort now, even if it brings suffering later. For example, someone knows they should save money for the future, but they see a new phone they like or a beautiful coat. They buy it. They feel happy now. But later, when they need to pay rent or there is an emergency, they panic. Why? Because they chose today's pleasure over tomorrow's peace of mind. Or imagine someone in a good relationship. They get a little bored. They want attention from someone new. They cheat. In the moment, it feels exciting. But weeks later, they are dealing with guilt, a breakup, and loneliness. That is the cost of only thinking about now. This mindset is everywhere. People quit going to the gym after 1 week because they don't see results fast enough. They give up on their big dream because it is taking too long. They stay up late watching videos on their phone, knowing they will feel terrible in the morning. The world tells you to live in the moment and do what makes you happy right now. But that advice can be dangerous if it makes you forget about your future. Real growth comes from thinking long-term. Ask yourself, how will this decision affect me in 1 year? Am I avoiding a little discomfort today that could create long-term peace? Anyone can live for the moment, but only a few have the strength to build for the future. And those few become unshakable. Rule 7. The rule of hiding feelings. Whatever you hide will eventually control you. Almost everyone walks around with a quiet storm inside them. Anger that was never expressed. Sadness that was never faced. Shame that has been buried for years. But instead of healing this pain, people hide it. They say, "I'm fine. It doesn't matter anymore. That was a long time ago." But the truth is, feelings that you push down do not disappear. They just change form. They can become sudden explosions of anger over very small problems. They can become a cold silence towards people who love you. They can become a fear of getting close to someone or jealousy that poisons your relationships. For example, a woman was abandoned by her father as a child. She never talks about it. She buries the pain and pretends to be strong. Years later, she finds that she cannot trust men. Every time someone gets close to her, she pushes them away. Then she wonders why love never lasts for her. That is repression. Or a man who was bullied in school never processed that pain. Now, he becomes overly competitive. He always needs to win. Always needs to prove he is the best. Not because he is ambitious, but because he is still trying to silence the voice that once told him, "You are weak." This rule teaches a hard truth. Whatever emotion you refuse to face will find another way to control your life. It might show up in your health, your work, or your dreams. So what is the solution? Face the pain, but without shame. Sit with your feelings. Talk about them with someone you trust. Write about them in a journal. Give yourself permission to say, "Yes, that hurt me. Yes, I carried that pain for a long time. But now, I am ready to let it go." Healing is not weakness. It is the most powerful act of self-respect. Rule 8. The rule of jealousy. People envy in silence, and it can quietly destroy you. This is one of the most uncomfortable truths about human beings, but you need to hear it. When you grow, succeed, or do something great, not everyone will be happy for you. In fact, some people will smile to your face and secretly wish for you to fail. And the scary part is, it is not always strangers. Sometimes, it is a close friend, a colleague, or even a family member, because envy often hides behind familiar faces. What makes envy so dangerous is that it rarely speaks out loud. People don't say, "I am jealous of you." Instead, they act. They become distant for no reason. They suddenly become cold, critical, or competitive with you. They try to minimize your success by saying, "Oh, you were just lucky." Let's say you start working hard to improve your life. You start eating healthy and exercising. Suddenly, your old friend starts making fun of you. They call you boring or too serious. But the truth is, your growth makes them feel bad about their own lack of change. Or you buy a new car after saving for years. Instead of being happy for you, someone says, "Must be nice." That is not a compliment. That is envy wearing a smile. So, how do you protect yourself? First, don't try to please everyone. You are not responsible for how your success makes other people feel. You can be kind, but you do not have to make yourself smaller to make others comfortable. Second, watch people's energy, not just their words. If someone can't celebrate your wins without turning it into a competition, protect your energy and keep your distance. And most importantly, look inside yourself. We all feel envy sometimes. The key is to transform it, not deny it. Instead of asking, "Why do they have that and I don't?" ask, "What can I learn from their journey? How can I use this feeling as motivation to build my own path?" When you let envy become admiration, you grow. When you let envy become bitterness, you fall. Always choose growth. Conclusion. You have just experienced something most people never do. You didn't just watch a long video. You looked at yourself and at the world in a new, more honest way. You learned how people's feelings control them, how they wear masks, and how they often repeat the same mistakes. You learned how we can be tricked by wanting what we can't have, and how focusing only on today can ruin our tomorrow. You learned that hiding pain only gives it more power, and that jealousy is a silent, dangerous force. Most people go through life asleep, waiting, wandering, and wasting time. But now, you are no longer one of them. Because now, you have seen through the masks. You have looked in the mirror and you understand. The world is not waiting for you to be ready. It is waiting for you to wake up. Wake up to your own power. Wake up to your feelings. Wake up to your purpose. Wake up to your voice. Wake up to the fact that your time on this earth is limited. This was never just a video. It was a mirror. And if you were brave enough to truly look, you will never go back to being the person you were before. This is not the end. This is your beginning. Let this be the moment you stopped living on autopilot and started living consciously, powerfully, and fearlessly. Because you only get one life. Don't waste it being someone else. Be the real you, fully and completely, before it's too late. Thank you for watching. Now go and live the life that most people never will.